Good morning, gorgeous souls. So before I start, I want to apologise ahead of time if you can hear any drilling, any banging. We have some building work going on next door. Hopefully it's not going to interfere with this live training. And this training today is all about how to navigate through stress, through overwhelm, without reaching for a drink. So this training is for you if you're working on drinking less, you're taking a break from alcohol, you're wanting to change your relationship with alcohol, however that looks for you. Drink less, drink none, perhaps create and deepen into an alcohol-free lifestyle. So I'm really excited to be here today with you live. Welcome on the replay as well if you're watching this later. Let's dive into this, and please drop your comments, your questions below the video, and I'll pop into the group later and reply. And also feel free to send me a private message. I love to chat in the DMs. I have free resources and things I can send to you depending on kind of what you're currently navigating on your alcohol-free journey. Okay, so today's training is to gain an understanding of managing stress and overwhelm and what that looks like, because this is actually one of the top problems that so many women tell me that they're struggling with. And it's just that they're using alcohol as a tool to kind of manage the stress and the overwhelm that they feel. Now, the goal isn't to have less on your plate. The goal is actually to become the woman, the leader of yourself, who can hold what's on your plate differently. And in order to know what's on your plate, you need to know what no longer feels aligned, what's not coming with you on this journey, and really what your actual priorities are. So knowing what's important to you, and these are things like your health, being present, your family, your loved ones, your pets, time out, recharging in nature, time for yourself, organising and planning and having things running in your home with supportive systems and processes so you feel calm and in control of your surroundings. I'll go a little bit deeper into this in a minute. So a full life doesn't need to be an overwhelmed life. It's all about perspective, and it's all about roots. Having a root system, an internal root system to support us. So I'm going to divide this training into 3 simple parts. We're going to keep this really simple. Don't do overwhelm. And as someone that I used to struggle with so much high anxiety, overwhelm, panic attacks, didn't feel safe being present in life, couldn't be present. I was drinking daily, evening habit of bottle of wine, more at weekends, and also navigating through an emotional binge eating, sugar addiction, disordered eating. You know, I have managed to change my relationship with that. I don't do that anymore. I don't drink alcohol anymore. I haven't had a drink, I had no alcohol. It'll be 6 years this year. And I started this journey in 2016 with many day one attempts, but I did long sober stretches before that. So it's been a real messy, imperfect process, which I encourage us to embrace, because that's how we learn. So part 1, this is going to be really short and really simple, easy to digest. why do we reach for the drink? It's not because we're weak and there's something wrong with us. There is nothing wrong with you. And it's not because you're lacking willpower. It's actually because we become overloaded. And think about this. This is relevant now more than ever, where life is so busy, it's fast-paced, we're being encouraged to be distracted with online, offline. Maybe you are running a business, maybe you have a really sort of busy work career, you're managing the home, you're navigating challenging times, maybe you're looking after elderly parents, or you're navigating divorce or a rocky time in your relationship, or you're going through some kind of life transition. And then add on top of that, wanting to be alcohol free, it can feel like a lot. However, I can assure you, navigating all of that, any kind of low level stress and overwhelm to high level stress and overwhelm, is so much easier with not drinking, because alcohol literally adds to the mix. It adds to the mix. But why we do this is because in that instant we need relief. We're looking for relief. We're looking for comfort. We're looking for a reward or an escape. And we're looking for some kind of way to transition from the end of a busy day into an evening, or into a weekend, or into holiday mode, or arriving back from holiday and we're transitioning back into coming home. We're always transitioning. And the drink, the alcohol, appears to solve a nervous system problem. That's what we think, but actually that's not true. And so part 2 is really about a full life versus an overwhelmed life. So imagine 2 trees. And I say trees because I work with the wellness tree. And you can imagine the wellness tree as something within you. We all have one. Or you can just visualize a tree in your mind. So imagine you've got tree 1. And tree 1 represents your life as a really overwhelmed life. And you know, you've got your job, your career, your work, you're trying to manage that, you've got your family, your responsibilities. Maybe you live alone and you see yourself navigating through an evening. Maybe you're feeling lonely, maybe you want to connect, but maybe you actually have social anxiety, or perhaps you just don't know how to be with yourself. Maybe you have specific responsibilities that we all have, we all need to be doing in our day-to-day life. So we've got this job, our work, our career, our business, our mission, our family going on, our home environment, online stuff, financial things, all of the things that we need to be managing. And in the wellness tree, we actually have branches which represent our different life areas. And these are the things that we need to be taking care of. But in this overwhelmed tree, with this overwhelmed life, there's no plan, there's no priorities, there's no boundaries, there's no nervous system support, and we're constantly reacting. We're in constant fight or flight. We're feeling anxious, we're feeling on edge, and we're drinking, and that's causing more anxiety, that's causing disrupted sleep, no sleep, guilt, shame, regret, it's real heavy vibey stuff. And we know this. We know this. If you're in this group here, you know this, you're aware of this, and there's no shame. There's no guilt. But what is so important to me is that we are looking at this together. We're looking at this stuff. We're building that awareness. And give yourself a massive pat on the back, because this isn't easy and it can feel really yucky and icky to look at this. But you're doing it. It's a massive well done. And the result of all of this overwhelmed tree is a life of stress. It's chaos. There's drinking urges. There's cravings. We just don't know how to navigate this. And this is very much like the toe dipper stage that I talk about. The toe dipper and the swimmer. You've already made some moves into drinking less, into drinking none, and you get to a certain place, a certain point, and then it feels like you get taken down. Something happens in your day, something triggers you, whether it's an email, an argument, you feel it in your system, that reaction, that, oh my God, and you reach for the wine. We've all been there. I did it too, and then I did it with food, it was sugar. But you can get to a place, which is how I am now, where you feel it, and you don't react to it, but you just let it pass on through, and you support yourself with various tools. And so that brings me into tree 2, second tree. So same tree, but this tree represents the full life still. So we've got the same job, business, career, work, the same responsibilities, the same things we're doing, the same family, the same home, maybe the same things in your environment. So everything's the same, but here's what's different. Here's what's different. You have clear priorities. You have a daily rhythm that supports you. You have a freedom plan in place that doesn't have harsh discipline rules. It actually has flexible rules that support you in the direction of the woman that you want to be. Understanding that this is a practice. Understanding that messiness, imperfection, and keeping on builds your freedom plan. You also have boundaries in place, loving boundaries with others that you may or may not need to communicate, and with yourself. I literally did a training on this in our Strong Roots membership last week, and this is so key to having a freedom plan, to having the roots of your freedom plan. And we need supportive systems in place. Because if we don't know our own boundaries, our own edges, particularly with alcohol and environments and what's okay and what's not okay, it's sort of there's this thing I talked about last week in the membership about having an always, a sometimes, and a maybe rule, and really knowing what that means for us. This gives so much freedom within your plan. This takes care of your inner child, your inner rebel, and it's commanded by our adult self, the queen. So we feel really, really supported and taken care of. And so the result of this, we bring calm. We have clarity, and we're actually having an internal container that we're building for capacity to hold more. That means more discomfort, yes, because we need to feel the cravings. We need to feel that need to reach for alcohol and not squash it or resist it and run from it. Because if we don't feel it, it's going to keep on. It's going to keep on, like that nagging wine witch voice that will have you getting in the car, driving to the shop, buying the wine. we need to be able to work with these parts of ourselves. This is all parts of ourselves that actually have a deep message for us. So this is about internal change. And so tree 1, overwhelmed, stressed tree, has no internal structure. But calm, centered, strong, rooted tree has that structure. So now this leads us into part 3, which is where I talk about having a freedom plan in place. And you can think of the wellness tree as a whole freedom plan. So I teach something in the Strong Roots membership called the 4 daily activities. And these are the things that we need to be doing every day, and they don't take a long time. It's not more stuff to do. It's things that you can work on as you're going about your day-to-day life. The first one is identity. The second one is energy. The third one is environment. And we also bring into that nervous system activity. So identity is really thinking about, who am I being today? Who am I being today? So it's maybe noticing how stressed you feel, that life feels really full, and then thinking to yourself, well, how does that rooted leader version of me, the version of me that's calm, grounded and rooted, how do I lead myself today? How would I actually like to show up to this? This is all about this emotional sobriety at its roots, learning how to not react, non-reaction, and asking, right, what am I doing to create safety today, to support my nervous system? And some ideas for you are really simple things. It's the simple things that we so often forget about. Things like breathing, because when we're stressed, when we're overwhelmed, we are in a tense state. We're often holding our breath. And even now, I just invite you to just take a breath in. Take a deep breath in. Just notice like where there's tension in your body. Just move your shoulders. Feet flat on the floor. Just take that breath in. And let it go and just shake that tension away. And this can be a really simple practice that you bring into your day as often as you can remember to do it. This is taking care of your state. Things like walking in nature, walking around the block, around the park, sitting in nature, resting, pausing, slowing down. This alcohol freedom journey highlights the need for slow and calm living. And this brings all of the energy from up here, which is what we feel when we're anxious and overwhelmed. We're not present. We just breathe, we bring that energy into our body, feel that connection with the floor. And remember, a notepad and pen. If you're like me and you love notepad and pen, or grab your phone, make some notes on your phone. If you need to brain dump anything that's going around in your head, get it out. Energy, the energy activity. So this is asking, where is my energy going? And what is most important today? Again, remembering your priorities. The next one is the environment activity. So what can I put in place today to support myself? Maybe you feel that you're not drinking enough water, for example. It's such an easy thing to forget. We go to bed and we suddenly think, I haven't really drunk much today. I feel really thirsty. I feel really low energy, really dehydrated. Have you got a water bottle? Can you keep that water bottle in your sight and remember to fill it? How about food prep? How about your calendar? Is your calendar taken care of? Do you know what's happening when? How about any boundaries? Do you find yourself people pleasing, saying yes to so many things when actually no needs to be the default, and I just need some time to think about that can be your response? So this is just touching on these things, and we go so much deeper into this in Strong Roots. But then we want to put these things, so mindset, identity, energy, and environment, we want to wrap these things really simply into a rhythm, into a daily rhythm. So having a morning routine, so you're leading the day, you're starting the day well. And then you have a midday check-in, you're preventing that drift, which we do. We start drifting as we go through our day, and we're giving and we're giving to all those things that we need to be giving to. Our energy starts being depleted. We're starting to get tired. The drift can happen. We can start falling unconscious, and then like 3 p.m. we're grabbing the cookies or something that we didn't want to. 5 p.m. the wine comes out and we grab that takeaway tea because we just can't be bothered to cook. Now, of course, that will probably happen. It has happened to me thousands of times. And if that's not what you want to be doing, we need to have a freedom plan in place to support you. And so that when you hit your evening, you're learning how to transition into your evening ritual, which is very, very calming, very, very soothing, very nurturing, and we're landing safely in our evenings without the need to reach for alcohol. So alcohol is often carrying a job that it was never meant to carry. It becomes the stress reliever. We use it as a tool, as the reward, the comfort, the transition. And what the wellness tree does is it shows us how to build a root system with the mindset, with the identity, with our energy, and with our environment. That's our home environment, our work environment, literally extending that outwards, other people, friends, relationships, online, and we learn how to do that. So we transition from alcohol into these structured, supported, healthy habits and choices. We decide what those things are. And that's how we learn how to build an on-track day and how to create as many as we can. And then when we start creating these on-track days and we start learning how to hold ourselves, how to navigate through the stress, through the overwhelm, we do this one on-track day at a time, and this builds evidence. I highly encourage you to get some accountability in place. Come and join Strong Roots if you want to. It's currently Founders Members Price at the moment, so now is the perfect time to join. Get accountability with others doing it with you. You can create your on-track days together, create your freedom plans together, hold one another in the wobbly moments. If you're having a rubbish day and you're navigating challenging times, like we have a really small nurturing WhatsApp group, there's no pressure to post or interact if you don't want to, but it's there. Because when someone messages and they say, oh, it's just been a really rubbish week and I haven't been on track and it's all gone tits up. Someone else might say, oh, me too. I thought it was just me. And that's okay, right? Let's just throw out this need to be perfect, the need to have everything perfect, because it just doesn't work. It's just not real. We need to be okay with getting our hands dirty. This is what we're doing in the roots. Because when we want to be that version of us that is showing up, doing the things that we want to be doing, it's like we're sculpting that part of us. We're chipping away at getting rid of the bits that don't feel good, the bits we want to let go, and we let them go with love. And it's like, that was a part of us that was doing the best she could. She didn't know any better. And we let her go with love. And we then give, it's like passing the baton to the next part of ourselves that says, it's okay, I've got this now, I know what I'm doing. And this is how we can talk to ourselves, how we can have these really deep conversations with ourselves. So in Strong Roots, I introduce you to the archetypes, and my most favourite archetype to work with is the Queen. And we all have that inner queen within us, our own queen. And she doesn't take any crap. She's like, this is what we're doing. She's very in command. She's very grounded. She has your best interests at heart. And the Queen really listens. We actually have a conversation. I show you how to do this in Strong Roots. There's a tool that I share, and you have a conversation between the shadow part of ourselves. So the shadow part of the Queen is the child, and the child part of us will very often show up as this. She'll say things like, this isn't fair, this feels hard work, I don't want to do this anymore. She's literally very childlike, wanting to throw toys out the pram. This isn't fair, I don't care. And she'll even in the moment not care about her goals and her dreams and wanting to be the best version of herself. And she'll be saying things like, oh, I've only got this one life, I want to have fun, I want to have a party for one, and this feels boring. I was there in my child for so long. But I learned to work with that little child, that little Kath part of myself, with the Queen, Queen Kath. And she will come in and she will understand the child. She is so loving and caring, but the Queen has boundaries and she doesn't let the child rock her. She's like, I understand, no drama. The Queen does not do drama. She does not get emotionally involved. And she says, this is the plan. And then the key thing is, if you bring in your rule, your boundaries, which is a flexible boundary rule, and this is your always, sometimes, never rule, that you create yourself. Again, we work on this in Strong Roots. If you've created your freedom plan and set this up in such a way, you can bring in something that you can have after you have felt this discomfort, which we have to feel. We have to feel this to heal it. Then it's like, then we can do that thing. So this isn't harsh, this isn't restrictive. And honestly, I can't tell you how freeing this has been for me. This is what I call true alcohol freedom. Because alcohol freedom looks different for everyone. It might be working on drinking less. It could be that, see, grey area drinking is so grey area and everyone's at different points. Some people can drink now and again. Other people can't, and it's just an absolute no. And other people just are just don't want that decision anymore and don't want that constant mind chatter, which is how it was for me. Alcohol was a slippery slope and I didn't like the path I was going on. I was going down. So it was easier for me, although it didn't feel easier, but it was just easier. And so many people find this, just get rid of the whole alcohol thing and don't drink. That's what I decided. For you, it may be different, but we need to have full permission to explore and experiment and find what works for you. So through the wellness tree, we're building this strong root system within so that those things can do the job that we were trying to use alcohol for. We learn how to hold ourselves, building one on-track day at a time. Perfect for you if you're wanting to take a break, get some distance from drinking and just reassess, or actually work on creating an alcohol-free lifestyle or deepen into that. Okay, so this has been a kind of toe dip training into the understanding of what's going on, of how you can actually shift your perspective and you can have a full life. I have a full life with lots going on. So I could say I have an overwhelmed and busy life, but it doesn't feel that way to me. It used to, but now I've built this inner root system and I've worked out what is actually priority. And I'm running a full-time cleaning business, self-employed. I am growing my wellness tree business, so my cleaning business is supporting me as I'm growing my wellness tree coaching business. So I'm running the Strong Roots membership. I'm married, I have a husband, I have a dog. I don't have any kids, but I'm running the house. I also help with my husband's business. I don't know what else I'm doing. Many different things. Then there's, you know, all the general lifey things we have to do. And my priorities are my own health, making healthy choices every day, doing food prep. So I'm literally spending a specific amount of time in the kitchen each morning, quite early in the morning, prepping things ahead for the day, doing things, having systems, structures and routines in place so I don't have to make any decisions. And then I'm also using, I haven't got it with me, but I'm using a one-page diary where I write down these things. And it's not always perfect. I'm not always consistent with it, but it's a practice and I have the structure there to support me. So now is really the perfect time if you want to go deeper with this. If you have received value from this training, fabulous, go implement it, go start your freedom plan. Let me know how you get on. If you want deeper support, if you want to do this with others and you want to dive deeper into the wellness tree, come and join Strong Roots while it's still founders member price. I'm going to warmly welcome you in. And next week, I haven't told them yet, but we're going to do a deeper training on this because this is such a top struggle for so many people, how to actually navigate through life right now while we're holding so much. So I'll be introducing a new tool. It's a brand new tool for them, the Stress Ladder tool, which supports perfectly with this. So if you want to join the membership, literally send me a DM, say membership, and I will send you the details and you can decide if that's something you would love to join. There's no pressure. You can join, you can cancel anytime. There's no lock-in or anything like that. It's just a way that I can bring coaching to be, more available for more people and to do this also at a more affordable price. So, hope you've got great value out of this. lovely to see you all. Thank you for joining me live. Thank you for watching the replay, and I will I will join later. My brain's going now. I will join you later in the group, and yeah, so have an amazing rest of the day and see you all soon. Bye.